Welcome to the life cycle of an insurance claim. There are many moving parts to the process of the life cycle and filing of an insurance claim. Let's begin with the first part. For an initial visit, this would be considered the pre-registration process. Typically, it begins with a phone call. At this point, the office staff will collect very important information in order to move forward to the process of forming an appointment relationship with the patient. The office staff will collect the patient's insurance and let the patient know if they are in network or not. The office staff will also collect the patient's name, date of birth, insurance information, and other demographics in order to verify that the patient's insurance is active. Once they have verified the patient's insurance, they will move into the intake process, by which they will obtain the patient's chief complaint and then form an appointment date for the patient. Finally, an appointment has been set, and the staff will ask the patient to arrive 30 minutes prior to their appointment time. In order to fill out forms, they will ask the patient to arrive wearing a mask and to present their medication list. The next step is the check-in process, upon which the patient will visit the doctor's office and the patient will sign in. The staff will ask for the patient's identification as well as patient's insurance cards. The staff will make copies or scan in the patient's identification card as well as the insurance cards, front and back. After verifying once again that the insurance is active, the staff will pass the ID and insurance cards back to the patient. Now, the patient can start the new patient forms. The new patient forms include the Financial Responsibility Agreement form, the Medical History form, HIPAA form, and other necessary forms. Once these forms have been completely filled out with the patient's signature, the next phase would be the collections of any payments or co-payments. If this is an established patient, the staff may ask to collect any balances along with co-payments. The next step is the process of filling out the super bill. The super bill process begins once the patient sees the doctor. This is the process where the provider or staff will fill out the super bill for the charges and services for the visit. 99214 typically is the office visits CPT code. ICD-9 codes will be added for the patient's symptoms, and other charges will be added if tests are ordered. Once the super bill is filled out, the staff will give the super bill to the patient and ask them to present it to the checkout counter. The next step is the checkout process. Now that the patient has seen the doctor, the patient will approach the checkout counter, where they will pass the super bill to the checkout clerk. The checkout clerk will attempt to collect any balances. The checkout clerk will at this point enter the diagnosis codes and other information into the patient's electronic chart. This will start the transfer process for billing. The staff will also generate a follow-up appointment that is ordered by the physician. The staff will give the patient an appointment card as well as a statement that includes the day's visit charges, diagnosis codes, the reason for the visit, and more. The final process is the insurance claim submission process. After the patient's demographics, insurance information, diagnosis codes, CPT codes, and such have been transmitted to the insurance department, the process of submitting the CMS 1500 claims form process begins. All information will be entered into the system. The process will include checking for adjudications. Verification will cycle again. They will also check for any pending processes or denials for payment. This wraps up our life cycle of an insurance claim.